Hello Leo, welcome to your reading. My dear Leo, this is a reading for kind of December slash January, but most important is like end of the year message because I'm about to do 2022 readings and I thought it would be a really good idea to separate that message from sort of end of the year conclusion. And what I'm looking in this reading at is sort of what you've learned, how that's changed you, what was holding you back, what you need to understand in terms of going into the new year, what you may be carrying as an energy with you, and also what you want to avoid bringing across to the new year as well. And of course, we'll look at as well at something that you should be very, very proud of. So I have starting cards on the table, but I will be shuffling and adding more as we speak when needed. So my dear Leo, so first of all, what I'm really seeing here for you is that last year was all about really building up your financial wealth, security, business, home, family, right? Anything that is really earthy and is about gathering resources. But I do see a lot of success in this area. So whether you manage to get a nice home, whether you manage to start a family, or whether you just manage really to feel confident around your finances as well. And you know, with everything going on around the world and people really struggling to keep that kind of stability and security, you actually did really, really well. So that's really amazing because maybe with that gave you a platform for a lot of other lessons and changes. And you know, one of the things that you should be really proud of in terms of last year is just being able to push forward and complete an important life cycle for yourself. Well, you have like this most stunning universe card, right? And it's just a mark that you've completed successfully an important initiation in your life. It's like one of your major projects, life phases, something got completed, and that's been completed with success as well. So I'm really, really glad about that because you know, you're starting your new year with almost like a blank page where, you know, it's never really blank, but it's like you can go any direction you want from here. And you know, you also have this beautiful goddess here, Artemis, selfhood. And I feel like what you also should be celebrating and, you know, just be proud of yourself in that context is that you stood up for yourself and you stood up for others. You really were able to not just protect others, but perhaps just really understand that you are as important as other people around you, and you practice that throughout the year. You really understood your own nature. You were able to really see yourself in a way that you've always wanted. And you know, there is something wild about that in your nature too. It's almost as the way you were expressing yourself throughout the year. It was so true. It was so true to yourself and to your nature. And I really love that about you. Now, I'm going to mention something that might not resonate with all of you, but I feel like some of you were really also working for animals as well. So Artemis is a goddess that protects animals. She's also a goddess of really standing in her own truth and just going for what she really wants, even if it's against, you know, sort of society and labels of how, you know, people understand success. Basically, there is a wild nature to her. There's a lot of wisdom, and I just really, really love that. So yes, so some of you may have worked for a cause of animals and also nature, like maybe you've been involved in some sort of good cause like climate change things or charity work, etc. Okay, so I just want to give you a tap on the shoulder if that's you. And when I'm looking at some lessons that you've learned, I mean, it's amazing. It's kind of like this energy of the antelope and the Eight of Swords, which is like on one hand, you were just asked to be in a space of just doing it. It's almost as just do it, like complete this action, like make it happen, like don't overthink. But at the same time, with the Eight of Swords, there is a sort of interference energy. So one of the lessons for you could be to keep that balance between taking an action but also not interfering where you didn't have to, because I feel like with your own nature and leadership that you have within yourself, you may have usually tendency to just interfere and take things in your own hands when people can't do it. But at the same time here, you were trying to sort of like step back many times in last year where you thought, no, actually, I know that I can do it, and then I know that I can just do it and it will work out fine. But I also want to give that opportunity to other people, and I can't always be there to rescue everyone. Not because you don't want it to, but it's also because in a way that's how you showed your love and respect to others, because others deserve, you know, that opportunity to do things, even if they're going to make a mistake or do it in the wrong way. That is a learning opportunity for them too. And I feel like in some ways you may have understood that last year, that delicate balance between just doing it and also not interfering. And on the other hand, maybe there was also a lot of interference in your own life and you had to sort of deal with it as well, and just flow through it and stand strong regardless the circumstances, right? So let me just pull a couple of cards here. Yeah, so we have a Prince of Pentacles. Oh, Princess of Wands. So it's almost as you had this plan, or you had plans of just doing things in a certain way, or maybe something around you meant to happen in a way that is quite old school, and you know, there was a plan, there was a project, there were steps, and then the Princess of Wands comes with the kind of sudden energy of news or interference, right? Like oh, actually no, we're not going to do that as we thought, like. And there's an interesting energy here in terms of doing things by the book and without shortcuts versus quickly adapting to the new situation and circumstances. And I think like you being in that constant ebb and flow of energies, you had to find yourself in a completely different way from one situation to another one, or even within one situation there was constant shift of what was required of you. And you know, that is the lesson that you've learned. And I can't ignore one thing for you, Leo, which is actually, I should have probably said that right at the start, because it's quite fascinating that you have number 4 3 times in your reading here in that cluster of cards. So 4 of Cups, 4 of Discs, and 4 of Wands. And this is also, you know, huge game about stability, security, emotional stability, but also financial. Obviously, we've mentioned here that you did really well in the area of finances, home, maybe even a relationship. And with the lesson that we discussed, the way that's changed you, it's that I feel like you found much more peace and joy with yourself and in the people that are around you. It's almost as, you know, you learn how to be content. I know that that sounds really weird, but it's like you found that peace with yourself, and you know that even if emotions go high, or even if sometimes feel like you can't control it, you can still return home, and home for you is yourself. Wow, there's also Hierophant twice. I feel like, you know, what you may have been ignoring last year is committing to something 100%, whether that's a relationship or committing to yourself. And you have ignored that for a long time. Like it's almost as you were afraid to commit to especially a relationship. And I feel like you did that right towards the end, potentially, or second half of the year. I feel like a lot of you have committed, but for a long time you were trying to ignore that. And that gives you a lot of joy now and happiness. Very interesting. Let me just have a look here, because something is holding you back, and that's still in the energy of 4. And this one is Four of Wands. Let me have a look here. So we have Seven of Wands, Princess of Swords, and Temperance. So something that was holding you back, it's, I feel like you haven't put a complete closure on another situation. There was a need for closing something, especially around healing another relationship, maybe something to do with Libra, Gemini, or an air sign. And I feel like you have been resisting communication with that person. Now, for some of you, you know, you might just did that and you now moved on to a new relationship, which is fine. But if you have ignored kind of a closure on something, and you know, when I say closure, I don't mean ignoring someone, right, and thinking that you dealt with it by silence. I feel like the Princess of Swords and Seven of Wands, what they're really showing me here, that you have been ignoring or resisting a line of communication with somebody that is actually waiting. They are waiting for you to talk, and not necessarily to convince you out of your current plans, but I think there is things that haven't really been said, and there's a big misunderstanding, and that relationship needs some healing. Now, I'm not necessarily completely encouraging you or convincing you have to go and talk to this person, but you need to have a way that you really feel honest with yourself, that if this has been now completely closed, and if you feel free from that situation and that burden, amazing, well done. If you haven't yet, then you need to find a way, and that would be one of my advices going into the new year, that you don't want to carry that over with you, okay? You want to deal with it, if not now, at least at the beginning of the year. And you know, with the Four of Discs over here as an advice card, you know, just stay in a place of stability, emotional security. Oh my God, Six of Cups, you know, cherish the relationships around you. There is a love around you. Make sure you protect that. Make sure that you commit yourself fully to it. No games. This is all about protecting what you have right now. And if you are in a new, especially new relationship, just know that you're being encouraged to move forward, especially if there is a distant travel, or if there is a bit of a distance right now between two of you. Maybe you're in separate cities or countries these days. Know that you should definitely make an effort to keep maintaining that connection. Another World card. I mean, you know, you are on the top of the world, Leo. You have one of the most confident reading. Like, everything here is really being fed by success, by confidence, by resources, by love, by, you know, even you traveling, you know, maybe traveling opportunities are opening for you right now. You may be taking end of the year here for planning where you want to go next year. Take that as well as a really good time to make great plans for next year, especially when it comes to adventure and traveling. You're really encouraged to do that, and you should enjoy yourself, because you've spent so much time here with the King of Pentacles on building the resources and the wealth, and the, you know, for a lot of you it's money as well, and a home. You deserve some fun, Leo. You deserve just to go out there and explore and enjoy. I love that for you, Leo. So the World and the King of Pentacles just a proof to me that you are on the top of the world, and you are probably a winner this year. You are a winner. You know, we would all want to have right now what you have. So well done for that. Beautiful, beautiful reading, Leo. I'm really happy for you, and I'm really excited, and I can't wait to do the 2022 reading for you. So with that said, just a quick mention, if you have enjoyed the reading, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, or just simply drop me a comment if you want to share your thoughts. Also, if you'd like to work with me one-on-one, I will leave the details in the description box below. And finally, lots of love, many warm hugs, and take care for now.